Aloha, Denver! Oh, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. It's such an honor and to be a part of. This is the 5th annual, right? Denver UkeFest. Awesome. Okay, well, let me get tuned up here. Well, today we're just going to have some fun. We're going to play a little bit together, just talk a little bit about the instrument, and I'd love to share with you a little bit of how I go about arranging songs and how I got into playing this, playing the ukulele and all of that. And if you have questions at any time or anything, or comments or anything you'd like to say, please feel free to raise your hand or shout them out or whatever you want to do. So,
you are awesome!
Oh. Thank you very much, thank you. I paid him to say that. But yeah, so why don't we, I'll kind of get started and tell you a little bit about myself real quick. You know, I was born and raised in Hawaii. I started playing ukulele when I was about 4 years old. And I got into it because my mom played. You know, and the first thing I learned when I was about 4 years old were just the 3 basic Hawaiian chords. You know, the D7, G7, and C, which and I would just play that constantly, you know, like for the first 10 years of my life. I mean, I just fell in love with the simplicity of those chords and just the sound of this instrument. And I think most of you will agree, and that's why we're all here today. You know, the ukulele is a very special instrument. It's unique, and it brings a special joy to people when you hear it, or even when you just say the name. Ukulele or ukulele or whatever, right? So, so I'd like to just talk a little bit more in depth about my approach and a little bit about my philosophy. But before we do that, I just want to make sure that we are try something a little different. So go to the 2nd floor, room 1, and strum that. That's your F chord, or if you want to be more specific, it's an F add 9 chord, okay? Because you have the G on the top, okay? Now, sometimes when I'm dealing with multiple fingers or you need to go to multiple rooms, okay, what I do is I use a sequence of numbers starting from the 4th floor and we work our way down. So for example, if I were to tell you to hold a G7 chord, oh, okay, let's go back to the C chord again. I would say 0, 0, 0, 3. So open, 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 3. See? Now if I told you G7, I would say 0, 2, 1, 2. So open, 2nd, 1, and 2nd. And stop. Good. Now you're gonna take the ring finger of your left hand and put that on the 1st floor, room 3. Okay? Now we're gonna do the same thing. And go. Again, you see, utilizing that 4th string can be very powerful. You know, a lot of times we think like, oh, the ukulele doesn't sound full enough, you know, because we don't have any bass strings. But sometimes I find that there's a lot of power without having the lower register notes, because it frees you up. You know, if you're a guitar player, you know that a lot of times when you're playing chords or you're playing progressions, you have to be very aware of where the bass notes resolve. Let's move on now. So, for me, a lot of my inspiration comes from listening to other instruments. The piano, you know, I keep talking about the piano, but the piano was a huge influence. You know, it really inspired me as a kid, and I loved that sustain pedal on the piano. Because if you sit at the piano, even if you don't know what you're doing, but you put your foot on that sustain pedal, and you just play all the white keys, everything just sounds so nice. It's like, ding, oh wow, everything's just resonating together. And I just thought, wow, I wish I had a sustain pedal for my ukulele. like that. And then I remember I was, so I wanted to write a song that kind of captured that feeling, or that, you know, just the way that the notes ring over each other, you know, the way that they sustain over each other, because it's just so beautiful. So then I wrote this piece, and I remember looking at the piano and thinking, okay, the lowest note I have on the piano, on the ukulele is middle C. So I looked at middle C on the piano, and then I went, and I have, you know, the ukulele is about 2 octaves. So I went 2 C's above that, and it's about that much of the keyboard, right? You know, but within those 2 octaves, I tried to find a melody that would work, because I knew whatever I found within those 2 octaves, I could play on the ukulele. And this is what I came up with. So I'm going to play it for you, and it's a song called Piano Forte, and I wrote it in 2 parts. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm just going to play a little bit of it for you, because I wrote this song in 2 parts. The first part is the left hand, the piano player's left, because I just thought it's so beautiful when you watch a piano player and their fingers are just gliding over the keys, and they're holding down that sustain pedal, and it's just so angelic, right? And then the right hand, which played the single note melody. And so unfortunately I can't play both parts at once, so I'm going to play the first part for you. This is the left hand. And what I'm doing here is I'm playing every note on a different string so that the notes can ring over each other, and I'm trying to hold on to every note till the very last minute before I switch to the next note, so that I can get the most sustain out of that note. So listen to this. Now, if you have a partner to play with, you can have one person play the left hand, and the other person can play the right hand melody, which sounds like this. That's the right hand melody, and that's what I imagine the piano player. So, if you have a friend or a partner, you can do this. And I actually do have a friend here today that I would like to bring up to the stage. Alre Guerrero. Now you all know Alre Guerrero from Ukulele Underground. What we're gonna do is Alre's gonna play the left hand, and I'm gonna play the right hand, because Alre's on your left, and I'm on your right. Alre and I have known each other for many, many years. Actually, when I first, my senior year in high school, I was playing with a band called Pure Heart. And that was back in 1994, I think we started the band in like 93 or 94, and we probably met, what, like, I mean, just, oh really, was it? Yeah, okay, so we were, our band was together for about 5 years, and Alre, I met Alre, he lived on an island called Kauai, and I lived on Oahu, and it's just about, what, a 30-minute flight or something, it's real close. And the first time I heard Alre play, I was just like, wow, this guy's amazing, because he's like, I don't know, we're about, what, 10 years apart? How old are you? Oh, I'm 19. I didn't know you were older than me. All right.
That's why I'm sitting down. I feel like I'm getting older.
Okay, you ready? Yeah. Let's try this. All right, here we go. Give it up for Alre.